Rotational motion applying to the physics of wrestling. This is what I did my final project on, and this is me wrestling like 2 weeks ago. And then rotational motion points to recall from classes. So points A, B, and C all have the same angular speed represented by omega, and the points each cover different distances in the same amount of time, with point A having the least amount of distance to cover and point C having the most amount of distance to cover in the same amount of time, and point B is like right in the middle of A and C. Therefore, because they cover different distances in the same amount of time, they have different tangential speeds. Point C has the fastest tangential speed because it covers the most distance in the same amount of time, and then point A would have the slowest tangential speed because it's covering less distance in the same amount of time. And to calculate like V tangential speed, it would be the angular speed, which is all of them have the same, times R, which is the distance from the center. And basically, the further the distance, the bigger tangential speed you're going to get, so it's going faster. And if it has a smaller distance, A is going to have a smaller R, so it's going to have a slower tangential speed. Next, how does rotational motion relate to the sport of wrestling? So it's actually quite funny. I see rotational motion in wrestling like all the time now. After learning it in class, I was just able to see it from doing warm-ups to drilling to live wrestling. I just see it now because I actually enjoyed learning about rotational motion as well. And today I will be focusing on how rotational motion applies to finishing a high C attack in wrestling when you are unable to change off to a double. So you have to run the pipe is what we call it. And this is picture of me and my two brothers at state, and then also a picture of me wrestling, hitting a single leg. And here's my running the pipe demo with one of my little brothers. Just a second, make sure this is up all the way. Pause real quick. Hi, I'm Marissa, and this is my brother Angelo, and I'm going to go over a high C, what a normal high C looks like, and then also when they block your elbow, you can't change off, so you run the pipe to finish your shot, and I'm going to explain how running the pipe applies to rotational physics. Okay, so here's for the first one, high C, what it normally would look like. Okay, let's make sure you can get it on camera. And then do a different angle just in case. I see. So that's your normal high C. Sometimes you can't change off like that because they block your elbow from changing off to both legs. So now I'm going to go over running the pipe, and I'm going to show it first, and then I'll break it down. So walk my elbow. And then there's your takedown. So when you are doing the run the pipe finish, you want to make sure that sorry, we just got done rolling around a bit. You want to make sure that you're close to his body and close to the center of the circle. And you're going to, since I'm in on his right leg, I'm going to want to circle counterclockwise. And you want to be close and compact, because if you're not, it's going to be a lot harder to finish, and you get vulnerable and extended with your arms out here. I'll do a bad one just so you guys can see. So, block my elbow, and I'm going to do a bad run the pipe. Here, more distance, and your shoulders are not in a good place. And again,
gives him a chance to score. But when you do a good run the pipe, you want your elbows in close. You want to be circling as close to his body as possible so you can cover less distance in the same amount of time versus having to cover more distance. And also when you're close to his body, you'll catch him faster, and then that's what's going to knock him on his hip. That and also your arms pulling down. So here we go again. Boom. Locks me off, I can't change off. There's my takedown. It's important to stay close to the center, because if not, your shoulders get extended. That's how you tear ligaments in your shoulders. I've been there. And also it's saving your energy and conserving it a little bit so you don't have to cover so much distance when he's already in the center. If he's already in the center, you want to try and match that, because if you're further, who has the advantage?
Okay, quick recap on why it is vital to stay in the center while running the pipe. So staying in the center on your high C attack and then run the pipe finish is allowing you to cover the least amount of distance in the same amount of time. So when you do this, it's allowing you to have a slower tangential speed, which is allowing you to conserve your energy a little bit, and it saves you the hassle of having to cover more distance to get the takedown. Also, when you are far from the center, you are more than likely extended, and when being extended when you're in on a leg attack is almost never a good thing. And in wrestling, it also, like when you're extended, it makes it harder to finish, 1, and 2, you're gonna get injured because your shoulders are extended in a vulnerable position while your opponent's weight is applying force to your shoulders in that extended position. And when that happens, it leads to injuries and surgeries. I've had 3, and I just figured I'd show it real quick just to show you guys what it's like when you are extended and far from the center. Could result in things like that. And I hope you enjoyed my presentation.